Today is May 25th. The Pirates split a series with the Brewers. We've got some things to talk about today. Maybe Señor Cruz. You're listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Yins, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. I'm joined as always by my brother Jake. What's up, Jake?
What's going on, man?
Let's talk about what's going in. Hold on. I got something for you, Jake.
Okay.
Hey, what's happening, Norm?
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
Had to do it. Dr. Pepper, nice. George passed away this week.
I was
raising one. I got you. Yeah. All-time favorite show for me. So yeah, I had to throw something out there for him. I'd actually thought about this, and I was like, I'm gonna have you say something to like cue one of those off. You know what I mean? And I forgot to tell you that. So I was trying to go with it, and there was one where Woody says, "What's going on, Mr. Peterson?" And he says, "Let's talk about what's going in, Mr. Peterson." There was a ton of them, man. Well, actually, when we were back home, me and JP were watching a bunch of them. JP's our older brother, but we were watching a bunch of them too. So got some people in the chat. Bucko, Mike, Matt, Konnor. How you guys doing? Cheryl, Martin. All right, we're hopping already.
The only frustrating thing about Cheers is the streaming places don't put the whole thing on there. Like I need some Diane episodes, or not Diane. I need some Rebecca episodes.
I think they're all on. They're all on Paramount. That's where really? I watch it on Paramount.
I don't think I've looked there. So
yep, I can watch all of them on
Hulu,
Paramount.
Netflix. They have like the first half of the
Netflix
series.
Completely gone now.
Is it?
Yeah. So pretty mad about it. Yeah. Pretty mad about it. But yeah, that's literally, I think I was just telling somebody the other day, we were talking about movies and TV and whatever. And I even said something about movies. They were talking about specific movies. And I was like, yeah, I've never seen those. And I was like, I need a movie to make me laugh. And then, when it came to TV, I was like, I need a TV show that's just called Cheers. I mean, that's basically all there is to it. Like, that's the only one I'm interested in watching anymore. I've watched other ones, but that's it for me.
Oh, man, that show's so good.
So good. Anyway, we went back home for some Pirate games. Here's the proof. Got the Eden Park Smiley cookie. We have like a routine, right? I go to Uncle Sam's on the way in. Specifically like a Saturday day game, and we go to the game. There's not much I can eat at the ballpark still, and then we leave the ballpark and we go to Uncle Sam's on the way out. But we also stop. We also stop at Eden Park, grab some cookies, and head back out of town. So that's what we did Saturday, and then we also went Friday night. And so I had Uncle Sam's 3 times this weekend. Judge me. Martin likes the hat. That is a good hat, man.
I love this hat. I don't get to wear it. I don't wear it a whole bunch, but I like this one a lot. Old baseballism.
Yeah. Do you have Memorial Day plans? Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Specifically those on audio that you're listening to it on Memorial Day, but
yeah. I just got to work.
So. Oh, got to work. I think there's a parade. I think we're doing that. I don't know. A movie, I guess. I don't know. Lilo and Stitch, the
live action. That'll be good.
I mean, I've never seen the non-live. It's funny. Earlier I said, I never seen the real one. They're like, well, no, you've seen the fake one. And now you're, I've never seen any of them.
You never seen Lilo and Stitch? Huh?
No.
It's been a while for me, but I've seen it.
Yeah. Look, Bucko Mike's making us talk about baseball. So, which is good. We can talk baseball, and we can kick it off right here. Braxton Ashcraft, taxi squad right now, being called up. This is the second time in like a week that we're going to say that there's a starting pitcher being called up, and his name is not Bubba Chandler.
Yeah, it's surprising and not surprising to me. Stuff's definitely there. I don't know. We talked a lot about this before we started. I'm just going to go to where my thought process was before we chatted about it. And it was, his command's just not there right now. And
I said 2 names. So just to clarify,
Bubba.
Okay.
Yeah. Bubba's command's just not there right now. I watched one of his, I can't remember when it was, dude, but I was just thinking to myself, man, he's all over the place. Like, they're not swinging at that in the bigs.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think they want to make sure that everything is right before they call him up, because let's face it, you call Bubba Chandler up, he comes up and makes a start, and it looks anything. It's not going to, but it resembles anything of like not great.
Sure.
And everybody's gonna be upset about it. Well, he's a bust.
I mean,
like, it's a very very short leash sometimes with people that are very highly regarded. And
yeah,
so if he's not 110% ready, they're going to wait.
Yeah. I think there's a thing. So, cause I think there's two levels to this. And I talked about this on one of the shows during the week. So if you guys are loyal listeners, you might be hearing a repeat take here, but I think one of the things that plays here is Bubba, as far as the stuff and the pitcher, like, he's ready for the majors. All his stuff is good enough to be there. He's just a little bit cold right now. You know what I mean? Like, I think the command where it was there at the beginning of the year, it's not quite there the last maybe 4 or 5 starts. And so I think that they know that. And I think there's a little piece of just, hey, let's let him settle in. Once he gets it back, because he will get it back. Actually, one of the things that they're talking about with Bubba is that his control, like the Baseball America, they made comments about his control is better than Skeens' was. So now we're seeing that it's not, and it's like, well, let it play out a little bit. Because if his command is really good, and it's not right now, that just means he's not going well right now. This isn't a Tyler Glasnow situation where he's never going good. Right? I mean, I remember seeing Tyler Glasnow twice in the minor leagues. I just had this conversation with somebody too. And one time he had, I think, 11 strikeouts, 1 run in 6 innings. Like, it was ridiculous. And then the next time I saw him, he had 9 walks. And it was like, that's what you got. The first time they were swinging, the second time they weren't. That's the difference, right? I don't think that's what it is with Bubba. He has command a lot of times. And right now, it's just not there. Actually, this is a really good example too. Martin brings up Quinn Priester sure pitched well yesterday. He's another one in the minors who the same as Glasnow. I saw him one time. I think he had 6 walks, and then the other time he had like 9 strikeouts. You know what I mean? Not as extreme as what I saw from Glasnow. And Glasnow was pumping 100, both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Priester was never doing that. But I just remember that. Like I saw those kind of starts from those guys in the minors. And that's when you know, like maybe they're not there. I still think Quinn Priester could be a good pitcher. I was at the game Saturday, so I don't know if that was, I said this, I said this about Mick Abel too for the Phillies when he started against the Pirates. I'm not really sure if that was really good Quinn Priester or if that was this Pirates offense that was maybe supporting Quinn Priester a little bit. So I think there's a little bit there. But I had the same conversation about Burrows. He was hot. He's pitching really well. OG, which by the way, OG, got to meet him in person this weekend. Love getting to meet people in person. OG shows Ashcraft's whip in May, 1.05, Bubba's 1.46. And so like you can see that there's a reason why, Burrows was in the same boat. I think his whip in May was under, or in his last, I forget what I did. In his last like four or 3 starts or something like that was under 1. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been really good as well. So they're going with the hot hand a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But my next question for this, and Bucko Mike brings it up here, that Ashcraft help for a tired bullpen. Maybe he meant to say up. No, I don't know. And either way, that's what he means.
I think he means is.
Okay, is help. Is help for a tired bullpen. I think Ashcraft could be great in the bullpen, and I wonder if this is what it is, because Burrows should get more than 1. He settled in that game, and I don't know how you're moving any of the other 4 out of the rotation unless somebody's hurt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Heaney and Skeens and Keller and Falter have all been really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Falter today, I tweeted because I was kind of talking him up. PNC Falter, we got him going. I was excited. And then he gives up 3 runs in the first inning. I'm like, I guess that's on me. But did he settle in? Absolutely. And he ended up having a pretty decent outing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's kind of what he does sometimes.
Yeah. But at PNC Park, he really hasn't that much. It's been
right.
You know what I mean? It's been really good. Anyway, some other things here. Garrett Cole was a bit wild in the minors. They're saying Miles said Quinn Priester has looked good in his last 2 starts. So maybe there was a little bit of Quinn Priester was really going good. Bucko Mike points out 3.47 ERA is solid. Absolutely. Like he's been better than I thought he would be. And even when you look at the numbers, like I think he's benefiting a little bit. He's really good at PNC Park. He's not really good on the road. But overall, you're getting a 3.47 ERA guy, and it's kind of hard to argue that. If you could time them all up at PNC Park, that'd be great. But, obviously you can't control that.
Yeah.
Miles also says in April, Chandler would be up after Burrows, Harrington, and Ashcraft. In April, I would have thought Bubba was the first one, except for the 40-man thing, and I think there was some truth to that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's clear right now. I think it's a good move, and I think if Ashcraft is, because Ashcraft there's been some runs. We were looking at his last few games here. I mean, he gave up 3 runs on the 21st, 4 runs on the 14th, 3 runs on the 8th. It hasn't been like awesome. And if you go, they had a great outing on May 2nd, but 5 runs, 4 runs, 2 runs. You know what I'm saying? Like he's given up runs in every game he's pitched but 1.
Yeah.
But the whip is low. In May, the whip is low. The average is 207. He's got 29 strikeouts in just 22 innings, and he's only walked 6 guys. He has hit 5 of them this month, but So you could say 11. It's still good.
You got to own the inner half, man. You got to own it.
You do.
Get them off your plate.
So the runs are there, but everything else is good. So he has a 4.09 ERA in May, but only 17 hits in 22 innings, 1.05 WHIP. He's walked 6, hit 5. That's still 11 free base runners, 11 errors, as I like to say, but in 22 innings.
Yeah.
And he only had 10 the month before that. He was just giving up a lot more hits, 31 hits in 23 innings in April. So I'm really leaning like a guy like that, though, could be a bullpen guy right now. And even saying, we'll send you back down. The problem is they can't bring Majinski back up for it.
Right.
Because you have to be down for so long before you can be recalled.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's for an injury. But then you're committing to an IL stint.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't want to do that. So
it's interesting. And he's on a taxi squad. He's not even on, like, he's not activated or anything yet.
Right.
So, I mean,
the report was they're still haven't decided yet. Right. So
yeah,
he could just go on the taxi squad. It's also what we say. It's a West Coast trip.
Mm-hmm.
If you need somebody, you have somebody.
Yeah.
As Miles says, the same thing. So, yeah, I think it could be help for the bullpen. Obviously, we don't know that, but I think it'd be a good move. This bullpen has not been good. Outside of, Tanner Rainey is Tanner Rainey's not a guy I want to put in when you have a lead.
No.
Joey Wentz is not a guy you want to put in when there's runners on base.
Nope.
You most of the time get a good outing from Caleb Ferguson. Now we're on the lefties, though. Baracky's been, matter of fact, I said today, Baracky's in, we should be okay. And then he throws an 0-2 breaking ball right over the middle of the plate.
You know, and I was literally telling that to Ashley earlier today. I told her, I was like, you know, you have guys who stink, you have guys who are going good, you have guys who are just good pitchers and have a bad day. And I honestly think that Baracky just had a bad day. And one big mistake.
Yeah.
You know, he's been going good. I feel good about Baracky in a game right now, and I'll feel good about him tomorrow. I'm not going to lie.
You know, that's a really good point. And I'm glad you brought that up because that is something that needs to be said. He did throw a 0-2 breaking ball right over the middle of the plate, right? But it's one pitch. It hurt. And he'd given up. Obviously, he gave up all those runs. But even if you say it's one outing, he's been really solid.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned about Baracky. He's on the good side of that. That was a rough outing. That's going to happen. These are major league hitters.
Yeah.
So if we keep going down the line, Sugar's been good.
Dude, I like Sugar.
But
I'm not gonna lie.
But it's still it's kind of like a Caleb Ferguson thing. I don't know where the numbers line up there, but like every once in a while, he just has a stinker. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so like I see that happening. Santana's good. I'm not concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna come right out and say it. Bednar's good. I'm not concerned.
Same.
He gave up a home run the other day in a tie game, but also that's Wilson Contreras for you. And like I said, it's going to happen. You're going to give up a run or a home run. The thing about Bednar that worried me in that game was he kind of let it slip a little bit after that. It bothered him too much. Closers aren't bothered by a home run. They're not bothered by anything.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard to do that. I know this wasn't a save situation. It was a tie game when he came in, but he's going to give up a home run every once in a while, just like Baracky had a stinker today. Like it's fine. He's been really good since he came back. I'm not concerned. But the rest of the bullpen, outside of, I would say those 3.5, because I'm giving Sugar's a half in there too, and Ferguson for me. But like Wentz and Rainey, and I'm missing some people. Am I missing? Who am I missing here? Let me know. I'm going to pull it up here because I'm missing a reliever that I haven't said yet. Yeah, Martin, this is a good point. He says, Bednar's good. I'm still concerned when he comes. You have PTSD, and we all do. Even I was at that game when he came in, and I was like, all right, Bednar's in. We should get out of this, but you better believe I was eating my fingernails. I was on the edge of my seat because you're still nervous because we saw, I mean, this guy this year couldn't get through an inning. I'm going to find who I was thinking of. Isaac Matson's the other guy. There it is. Martin's got me.
Yeah.
And that, you know, I don't have it. We don't know yet. I'm going to go there with him. I'm not going to jump in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just out there. I'm not sure yet. But Isaac Matson, he had he came in this weekend and did a good job, but he's one of those guys. I'm not sure if I'm ready to. This bullpen needs help.
Yeah. I don't even want to get started on this one. Wainer flipping out because Bart was giving Barecki middle targets on 0-2.
You don't want to get started? I'd like you to get started.
I don't want to. I can't stand Bart behind the plate. I just can't.
Okay, let me ask you this, though.
He's not a catcher.
Let me ask you this, though. Does a major league catcher have to give a major league pitcher a target?
Yes.
Okay.
For now. I don't care where you're at in your career. You need a target. And number one, right now, there's not even a challenge system yet. There's no automatic strike zones. Catcher sets up somewhere that umpire expects to be in that area. And if it's not, you're not getting the call.
So you're not giving the pitcher a target, you're giving the catcher a target. Or the umpire a target.
You're giving the umpire an area. If Bart's setting up middle, now maybe Bart's thinking if I set up middle and he misses in or out, the umpire doesn't know where he's supposed to go. So
100%.
So whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard people say, well, if the catcher sets up too early, the hitter's going to look back and see where he's at, and he'll know where the pitch is. I don't know. To me, I got to see something at some point.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Like, I'm a major league pitcher. I know where the ball needs to go. I don't need you to set up.
It's
over
in
there.
your ear. Fastball in.
Right. But it's still, for me, it's like, it's just that a pitcher, you're taught to focus on something. Now, sure, you should be able to be like, all right, I need to throw this low and away. I'm going to aim at the catcher's foot. I don't care where his glove is. I'm going to aim at his foot. And I'm going to try to hit the catcher's foot. That's my... So, I mean, there could be different things like that. But at the same time, I need my catcher to protect me. And I need to feel comfortable throwing to that catcher. And I need to be sure that my catcher has my back.
Okay, let me ask you this. There's a guy on second in this scenario.
Okay.
Does that change?
No.
If I throw up a target with a guy on second, he's going to be able to tip off the hitter where that pitch is coming.
It happens so fast. Like, I don't need you setting up like super early.
Well, I think a lot of times the target is early, right? Because the way they teach catching now, when the pitcher's getting ready to throw the ball, your glove's down. The glove's always down, and then you come up to the ball, right? That's how you teach catching right now. That's how you're framing. That's how you're getting your calls and everything. So if you're coming from down, you don't have a target. So you might throw the target up, but then it's down. And so I don't know if you're doing that for the umpire or if this is a real thing that you're trying to deke the guy on second to think he's throwing in when he's throwing. I don't know.
There's so much that goes into it at the major league level. And I mean, you may be right. Maybe they don't need targets, but at the same time, like, I still can't have my catcher set up down the middle. And just,
yeah. And maybe target is different than setup. If you're trying to throw a breaking ball in, you're going to want to go to that side in case he yanks it so that you can get to it.
Yeah.
So you're going to set up over there, but I don't know that you're necessarily saying throw it right here. You know what I mean? Like not at the major league level. I just don't think they're doing that. I know where the plate is. If I don't, I'm not sure I should be here.
Yeah, and that's fair. I guess I don't mean like a target as in this is where I want you to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. It's more of a, and honestly, maybe his right foot is the target. But if I'm setting up down the middle and the right foot is over, the strike zone, and I want that target to be outside the strike zone because I want it to start in and break off. I don't know. It's weird because it's still hand-eye coordination. Pitching is still hand-eye coordination. Your hand is dictating the ball. Your eyes are telling the ball where it needs to go. You need to be in unison. Hit my mic. Eyes and hands need to be going in the same direction. And no, you don't stare down your target as a pitcher. You have to take a break from it and come back to it. Like all that comes into this. But if I don't look at where I'm trying to throw the ball, I'm not going to hit a target. Mm-hmm. I'm just not going to do it. So yes, you do need a target. It doesn't necessarily have to be the mitt. It doesn't have to be exactly where he's setting up, but you have to find a target to throw to. And it's kind of the catcher's job to give you that target. And again, it could be anything. Yeah. If I'm telling you I need to throw a fastball up and in, at least flash it.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're doing. Okay. Like I said, I think that's what they're doing now because they always start down and come up. And so I know my hand's not in there, but
yeah.
But like that's what they're doing. I don't have video of this necessarily right now. I could pull it up, but I don't want to mess around with this. But what I can show for those of you on video is the pitches here and the pitch sequence. If it's big enough to see. Once we get to 0-2, pitch 3 is also right over the middle. And it's the slider. And then he goes sweeper up and away, and it's fouled off. And then he goes slider. This is coming from a lefty. These are trying to hit that outside corner. It's almost like he's trying to get that called. Does Baraki not
backdoor?
What is he throwing for his out pitch against a righty? But it looks like he's just still going slider sweeper the whole at bat. And so he's got 2 outside that are fouled off. But then it's another one. It's the sweeper now, right down the middle. This isn't fooling anybody. Man. It's middle, and 3 pretty much is too. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the thing is they're all the same shape. You got slider sweeper, all the same shape. Look at there's a couple that are in the 85 range, but essentially 81 to 85. You're not really mixing up anything here. No fastballs. Like 0-2, Jake. Why aren't we throwing a fastball above the zone? See if we can get a chase up there. Mm-hmm. We've got guys on second and third. I don't necessarily want to throw anything down in the dirt. Not with Bart back there.
Not with Bart back there.
So when there you go. So there, Michael 412 says he never changed speeds either. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like you got shape. Your slider sweeper, they probably aren't that much different. I'm not looking at Savant right now to see pitch shape, but they're probably not that much different. So you don't have much. Give me a 4-seam. What does he throw? He's got a sinker, doesn't he? Or maybe he doesn't throw the 4-seam that often. It's mostly a sinker. Well, that one was a stinker, so. Anyway, I'd say it's a missed pitch, but that's also a bad call.
Yeah.
It's a bad pitch call.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting about the target because I know that, Wayner was going on and on about, I'm all about, you shouldn't even throw strikes on an 0-2 pitch. Don't even throw it. Don't even throw a strike.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, the sinker. But what about the 4-seam, Michael? Give me that 4-seam. Because that's what I know he throws the sinker, but is he throwing a 4-seam as well? Bucko Mike said he was missing his splitter a lot too. So if you don't trust your splitter with Bart back there, I'm not throwing it on 0-2 with guys on second and third.
Yeah. Matt says all three should have been in the dirt. Runner on third doesn't blow the lead.
You just get one run out of it. I don't know. We saw what happened when Cruz overthrew. When Cruz overthrew it. Now, here's the thing. Cruz is coming in. It's aggressive. He has a shot to get him at home.
Yeah.
I absolutely want him unload on it. Jake, is that the second time he's had a chance? Or the third, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so he airmails it. Big deal. He's not going to get that guy if he airmails it. But if he doesn't, he's out. Right. The way that he can throw. So I'm not... The thing that gets me is when it hit the backstop, we got that rock backstop and it kicked way out to first base. Like it didn't bounce off of that the way it should, right? Bailey Falter turns around and he has to go running the other way. So it is what it is, right? He overthrew it. It's his error. Right. I'm not trying to take that away from him. I want him to be aggressive like that. And so he doesn't have so the sinker is his fastball. According to Michael and Bucko and Mike here. So, and then Cheryl actually saying the same thing, his crazy throw. He's not skipping the cutoff on that one, Cheryl. He's trying to throw a guy out. Yeah. He threw it high. The release point was off. He was a little off balance, I think. And that's one of the things that he's got to learn is when you're catching a fly ball, it's a lot easier to be on balance than when you're fielding that ground ball. He did not have his balance. It airmailed on him. It's going to happen occasionally. The bad part about it is if there's only one base runner, he scores and you're like, oh man, the fact that there was more base runners and it kicked out to the side, another run came in to score. I'm not like totally like taking that away from him. Exactly where I was going, Martin. There's 2 points I was going to make. He made up for the throw though. Okay. He got the one run back. However, it's not only that, but when I watched that inning, I saw 2 walks, which is 2 errors by the pitcher, again, 2 walks, and 3 balls hit 98, 107, and 111. You could say that Cruz costed anything, but Bailey Falter was not good that inning.
Right.
When you give up that kind of hard contact and you walk 2 guys and put them on base, even with that throw, that's on the pitcher. You weren't good.
Yeah.
You settled in. You did fine, right? What do you end up giving us here? 5 2/3 with only those 3 runs. So that's fine. To me, that's just as much on Falter as it is on Cruz. Cruz is you want him to be aggressive. You want him to throw that ball home.
Yeah. You obviously know this might factor into it as well. You also realize that your pitcher is scuffling right now. So I'm going to do a little bit extra to try to make sure that I can try to help him out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm just okay with it. He's got to unleash some to see it, like to feel it. You know, I just don't, you can't just expect him the first throw to just be a money throw. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not. We all know he's a little erratic with his arm. This has been a problem for a long time. And
gosh, you're right. I wasn't even thinking about it.
We're hoping that you move into the outfield with the longer throws and you know, it wouldn't look as bad. But when you throw the ball not 100 miles an hour from the out, I don't know what it was, but you know, he throws the ball very hard.
Right.
And you know, if you sail it, it's gone. Bye-bye. See ya. It's unfortunate. But if he doesn't do that once in a while, he's not going to learn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully do it in practice a little more, maybe. Like, I don't know. But they also don't want him to injure an arm in practice.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you're not going to go full speed there. So, it is wild. But it's worth saying, though. And then we'll get into O'Neal Cruz at the plate.
This is it right here.
What you got?
You can't practice that endorphin retro. You're exactly right.
Yeah. So today might have been the first time in a while that you've thought about O'Neal Cruz in center field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've pretty much watched him play center field and it's been passable for you. You haven't thought about it. You haven't said, gosh, this guy just can't figure it out. And that's what we were saying a month ago. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Since you've had an opportunity to say it's been bad. So it's getting there. But like I said, how many chances he had? I can count. I remember too, the one he threw the guy out. And we all said the first time he actually got a chance and he threw the guy out with a 100-mile-an-hour throw. And then this one. And now if there's another one in there, I'm forgetting it already. So forgive me.
Yeah, it's
going to get better.
It's going to get better. He's continuing to get better. I'm not that worried about him being in center field yet. Now. Give me by the All-Star break of next year. This is kind of far out there.
Okay.
By the All-Star game of next year, he will have robbed a home run in center field at PNC.
At PNC.
Yeah. Because he's that tall and he's going to get up over that wall and rob a home run. I'm giving him a little while to do it, right? Like a little growth. He might be one of the only people in the league that could.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen it. I'm sure it probably happened at some point.
I doubt it. That fence is tall.
What is it, 8 foot? I think it's an 8-foot fence.
Maybe. It might be a little taller than 8 foot. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on Wikipedia. If somebody in the chat wants to go look and see how high the fence is in center field. It's 21, and then it drops to, it's either 8 or 10 feet, but I think it's 8. And then it drops down more in left field.
Yeah.
All right. 122.9 miles an hour. Breaking his own StatCast record of hardest hit ever and breaking Giancarlo Stanton's record of the hardest home run.
Not 123 though, right?
I mean, 123. Miles says it's dunkable. Matt says Cruz has taken very few throwing chances lately. I don't think they've been presented to him very much. I think he's trying to be smart. I think there was a moment early on where it's like, I gotta be careful. And there might have been a couple that I thought maybe he had a chance for, and he decided to put it in his pocket because I'm sure coaching was like, you can't just sling every throw that you get. And so I think there's still a learning curve there of when can I throw it and when shouldn't I? He should have thrown that one today. It just sailed on him.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. Okay. I'm going to say this. I understand it's the major leagues and guys hit balls 100 miles an hour, but I'm going to say this. That is about the only play you should ever be making an error on in the outfield.
Yeah.
Once again, I am by no means a Major League Baseball player. I made one error in center field, and it was an overthrow. Right?
Right after your appendicitis.
Sure, but the point is like, that's how you make an error. I just don't understand. Now, major leagues are different. They're hitting the ball way different than anything we would have seen. But it's a fly. Look, you're going to catch fly balls. If you're diving, it's not an error. If you're sliding, it's not an error. Those are plays that are extra effort plays. They don't count as errors, right? So you're going to have bad routes, but those aren't errors. You're going to lose it in the sun, but that's not an error. You don't get charged with an error very often in the outfield outside of throwing errors. I know that we've had Tommy Pham have 2 of them just pop out of his glove. One of them was a slide though, and I don't think
to be fair, I can accept it on a ground ball too. That'll happen once in a while.
I think that you can, but I think on a major league field, like you probably shouldn't.
While I can agree with you with that on the infield, the outfield, the way they cut the grass in the major leagues, did you see the ground balls? They're going like this. It's kind of weird.
All right.
So I can accept a ground ball or throw. You should never make an error on a fly ball.
Okay. I'll give you that. Either way, there's not many opportunities the throwing errors are going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Miles says 23-degree launch angle, talking about the Cruz missile. It's unbelievable. Yeah, if it's it says if it's less than 23, it's gonna hurt someone. I mean, it barely made it over the fence. I think a 20-degree launch angle hits somebody.
Yeah.
And that's the only like when you're hitting the ball that hard, the lower launch angles they go harder. So to get it even to that point at 122.9,
just incredible.
It's not right. It's not right. And I understand, like, because there's some out there that say, who cares how hard he hit the ball? Hit a home run, it counts as one run. I get that. You can have that. I still think it's still worth acknowledging things that are special. And a guy being able to, now that we can track it and we know that like no one else has ever done that, then I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I understand there's other things where you're saying, yeah, but you can talk about Key Brian Hayes hitting at 102 and 103 and getting out all the time. Eventually you just need to, get a hit. And I'm all about it. Like, I don't care all the time. Like, sometimes you're hurting yourself by hitting the ball hard, where if you would just Adam Frazier this thing, look how good of a weekend he just had.
Yeah.
And he's just slapping the ball backside a lot of times. A big hit in this game was just slapping the ball backside. Now, granted, I don't know the exit velocity on it right now. Traveled a bit, but it was like a looper. It wasn't a hard line drive. Yeah. So, I think there's something to that. However, when something like this happens that's out of the ordinary, Miles says it's not right. It's pretty incredible. O'Neal Cruz had a big weekend. 2 home runs on Friday night, had a huge triple Saturday, and obviously the home run that he hit in this game just made it a 3-1 game, but it was incredible. I'll just say it, he needs extended. We just need to go straight there.
Yeah.
There was one question in here that I wanted to bring back up. If Bart is, Cheryl says, if Bart is not a catcher, what is he?
Good
earlier this season, right? And and it didn't work, and he didn't like it at first base. Earlier in the season, I would have said DH, but we're watching that average go down at this point, and he still is sitting on 1 home run.
Yeah,
I can't go there with him either. If it was me, I'd find out another guy or 2 for Henry Davis to catch. And I'd start mixing up and saying, we're going with 2 catchers. We're going to, and you got to give Henry Davis some more at bats to see if there's something he can figure out. He played back-to-back days. He had a nice day.
Yeah.
Played a little bit more. I mean, there was a game I went to where it seemed like he was hitting the ball pretty well. He didn't have a great day with results, but like hit the ball pretty well.
Here's one thing I'm liking about Henry. He's being a good catcher. Period.
Yeah, for sure.
All facets of it.
Yeah.
When he's getting his opportunities to play, he's making the most of it the best he can. But my favorite thing about him right now, he's getting comfortable in a major league clubhouse. He's getting some time, even though he's not getting as much playing time right now. He's getting time being a major leaguer. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. I think now would be a good time to let Henry play some more and start letting him get some more at bats. Now that he's getting more comfortable in a Pirates uniform, now that he's getting more comfortable in a professional clubhouse. I shouldn't say professional because even minor leagues is professional. Major league clubhouse. You know, as you get more comfortable, you get more comfortable on the field as well. So now let's give him a little run. Let's give him some more at bats here and there, and just see him develop, because I think he still can. He's definitely not a bust yet.
Miles says Henry closing his stance is looking good. He's got to get more consistent start. I'm bummed out that he didn't catch Burrows. So
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So we've let's do this real quick. It's been a minute now. What do you think about Spencer Horwitz? How are you feeling?
I feel good, man. Like, we have a first baseman who plays first base like an actual major league first baseman. He's made some plays over there that I like. Swinging the bat well. I feel like he's gonna just kind of keep progressing a little bit there too. That home run he hit to the other day was just, that was nice to see, because I wasn't sure how long the power was going to take to come because of, wrists, man. Wrists are wrists for hitters. That's not easy to come back from.
Yeah, it's been about every other game for him so far. He's sitting at 226 right now. The on base is only 294. Very short sample. We're talking about 31 at bats.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just trying to develop this as we go. And when I watched him play and I watched his at bats for a couple nights, one of those nights was an 0 for 5, and the other night, and then Saturday, a couple doubles. And so you're kind of watching that and you're seeing it. Now, you had 3 strikeouts the one night, but I still think the at-bats weren't terrible. But there was 2 things I saw. His first couple games, he was in a game, and they brought in a lefty and they took him out. And then a lefty was starting. Was it Lodolo that was starting the one game and he didn't play? And I made a comment because we had some concerns about, are we just absolutely doing a platoon here, which is not ideal for a guy that you traded, 3 pieces, 3 arms for. And it's a little bit of okay, we don't want him to be a platoon. Well, you saw there was a couple tough lefties that came in on Friday and Saturday, and they left him in. They let him face the lefties. One of them, he hit a double off of them. They're easing him in. Early on, they were easing him in. They weren't putting him in there against certain things, but it was basically a way to manage, like, let's get him in here. He didn't have a full spring training, so to speak, and everything. Defensively, he is an upgrade. But right now, it's every other game. Like, he was an 0 for, then he had a hit. Then he was an 0 for 1. That one doesn't count. But still, then he was 2 for 3. Then he was 0 for 3. Then he was 2 for 5 with the game he hit the home run. Then he was 0 for 5. Then he was 2 for 4 with a couple doubles. Today he was an 0 for. It's literally every other game, which is hilarious early on. But I think the at-bats are better. He's the kind of guy who's been kind of in the middle of some stuff too. Some good things. I don't think this is like a huge difference maker yet. Right? I don't think this is a guy who's all of a sudden going to start making everything happen. But it's been a little different. And I feel like his presence, even in the lineup, has been, okay, this guy's capable of hitting in one of those top 5 spots. And he could be a 2-hitter, I think. And then I like maybe 5 or 6, right? And I think that extends the lineup. And I think that's okay. As Bucko Mike says, this is still Horwitz spring training. I mean, it really is when you talk about, we're getting close though. We're getting close, but it does feel that way. So I've liked what I've seen so far. I hope, as you're saying, I hope this continues to get better, right? I hope that there's maybe some more. I mean, this is pretty consistent every other game, right?
He's a little faster than I thought he'd be.
Okay.
Like, he can move a little bit.
Yeah, he's also, like, he's not a big guy. Maybe that's what Matt's saying here. Michael Chavis nods in approval. And Rob, just side note here, Rob points out Henry had 4 starts this past week, and I thought his at-bats were better. You know what I mean? So that just kind of shows, yes, we like that. Miles says he's not a difference maker, but he's solid enough. Just having another solid hitter makes a difference. So he's not a difference maker, but he makes a difference. I think you're saying the same thing I'm doing, and we're trying to find the words, like, it's not a huge impact bat, but it does make a difference when it's not.
It does lengthen your lineup. It does make your lineup better, but it's not the exact bat we were hoping for.
It's not Triolo at first, and I know Triolo sometimes is playing other play, but it's not Triolo at first, and it's not even Matt Gorski at first, where you're still missing some defense on the Matt Gorski thing or Emmanuel Valdez. You know what I mean? What we've had there. Yeah. So, yeah. I think, as Miles said before that, plate looks good. Field is better than expected. I think that's because we've expected what we saw him play second base. First base has been really, like, even just a ground ball to an infielder and throwing it over to first looks better than it's looked all year. It seems like something so normal.
Yeah.
But it just feels like, okay, it's better, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, Brian Reynolds is going to be the biggest difference maker on this offense when he starts hitting.
Yeah.
And you see it in little spurts. You're starting to see it open up a little bit for Reynolds. But there's more to happen there. I'll support this in the chat. Gorski over Pham, now that you mention.
Yeah.
So.
Anyone over Pham.
Yeah, at some point, obviously the big pick off today. I don't want to pick at it. I don't want to pick at it today. He had a couple hits, so not gonna complain too much. He's got that average all the way up to 198 now. It seems like mostly a part-time player. Canario's been playing a lot. Canario continues. He had 3 hits today. Him and Frazier were really the offense a lot, and Canario isn't. I don't know. The playing time that he's getting. He's starting to hit more. He's going to strike out, though.
Yeah.
The guy he swings so hard, and he's going to strike out. And I don't think there's any way around it. I was sitting at the game Friday night. It didn't matter who was up. I mean, the Pirates, but it didn't matter what hitter was up there. Nothing mattered. If they swung and miss, he would go, "No, come on." Every swing and miss, Jake. Oh, like he was disgusted that if you swing, you should make contact. And then every time it was a strikeout, it was hands in the air. Oh, jeez. This is Major League Baseball in 2025, buddy. I don't know what to tell you if you're that disgusted. By the way, same guy who, as soon as Bednar gave up the home run, he left and missed an incredible finish to a baseball game. He didn't even wait for the inning to finish. That home run went over the wall. He was gone. Him and the 5 other people he were with, they all stood up and said, "We're out of here." But I couldn't believe just a regular swing and miss. Guys that would hit doubles on the next pitch. He was disgusted with them for swinging and missing at a major league pitcher's pitch. and that was the night that Peralta was out there. Like, this guy does that for a living.
That's funny.
But Canario is going to swing and miss. He swings as hard as he can. He never gets cheated. It's going to happen.
My only problem, I guess, with that being said is he's got, 1 home run right now? 1 or 2 at most?
Yeah, 2, I think. At least 2. I can think of 2 off the top of my head. He's got 3.
3? Okay, I mean, there's a little. Still.
He had his first triple today. He had a double earlier. But there is something, like maybe he is taking something off every once in a while. He's getting a lot of base hits, though. I don't care. You're getting on. You're getting on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're swing and miss, but I think the power comes, but the playing time, it's been a lot better.
Yeah.
This guy was hitting in the 30s.
Where's he at now?
232.
Okay.
Let's see what the numbers say recently here. 315 in his last 15 games, 362 on base, 519 slugging. He's got 2 of his 3 home runs in his last 15 games. But he still has 18 strikeouts and 4 walks. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy, I don't mind him hitting 7th, 6th or 7th even. I don't mind him hitting 7th. He's gonna do some damage at the bottom when he does. And
yeah. I mean, I'm here for it. I think I said, I looked at his numbers when we got him, and I was like, hey, guy with some pop. We need pop.
Yeah. Is this offense? Let's just talk about the offense. Mm-hmm. Matt, by the way, clarifies the triple was yard in most parks.
Yeah.
Is this offense? There you go, Matt. Matt also, I don't know if he said that before we were talking about him. If so, great. I missed it, but is this offense turning it around or not? We're looking at, of course, if you want to hear about the streak of 4 runs or less, you can go to Friday's show. I was super tired and I was cranky, and I'm not going to delete it. So it's only an 8-minute show. If you haven't heard it, you should go back and listen to it, because it might be entertaining for you. I just kind of went off on this whole, what have I talked about since we started this podcast? Score 4 runs. Go from there. But yet we create this streak of 4 or less. And I'm like, why? It should be 3 or less. You need to go listen to Friday's show. But we've got 5 runs on Thursday, 6 runs on Friday, and 5 runs on Sunday. So 3 out of 4 games against the Brewers. By the way, it's the Brewers. It's the reason. The Friday night was Peralta's game too. But you've got 5+ runs, 3 out of 4 games. Somehow Quinn Priester's the guy who shut you down when you had Peralta going Friday and Henderson going Sunday. Of course, most of the runs, right, coming off of the bullpen. Is there anything here, or is this, hey, we faced the Brewers, or O'Neal Cruz went off?
I think I wouldn't say, I don't know about, like, they're still not in a good place, right? Like but they're definitely turning a corner to getting back to who they are. Some of them, you can obviously see O'Neal Cruz is coming back to what kind of his start of the season looked like, or just a little bit after start, whatever it was, when he went on that hot streak. Reynolds is starting to turn it around. Reynolds getting back on track is huge for this offense. Just those 2 things in general makes this offense better. Kutch has been hitting the ball.
Kutch has kind of been, he's going to sit in that most of the year.
Sure.
He's not much more than that. He's going to have some hot streaks, but you're essentially getting that.
Yeah, I just feel like he's clutch. Mm-hmm. He's got that clutch thing going on. And while we were in that quote unquote streak, I saw a lot of opportunities for him to come through in a big situation and ground out into a double play.
I got you.
Just stuff like that. It's just, I see the offense turning a corner, as in, okay, we've been atrocious. We're getting back to being just a normal offense. Like, we're still not, it's not like we're turning a corner all of a sudden we're going to start scoring 8 runs a game. I think it's a combination of
look, read Martin's quote there.
Scoring 5 runs with Pham and Triolo in the lineup is good. Frazier has been better. And my big thing with Frazier is he's another one of those guys that's going to come through for you in a late game situation. So I like him on this roster. I don't like where he's at right now.
Yeah.
It's not our starting second baseman.
Yeah.
He's a backup infielder that you could use in a pinch hit situation late in the game, and you're going to get a professional at bat.
Yeah. Bucko Mike says Kutch is hitting higher than I expected, mid 250s. I think that's where the rest of us expected him to be, and Bucko Mike hates him. So I might be pouring on a little bit there, but I just want to go back to what you said. Last 7 games, Brian Reynolds, 280, 367 on base. The slug we're still kind of waiting for a little bit, but I think that's part of the process for him, right? Mm-hmm. Let's get on base. And he's been doing that better than he had before, which was really just an all-time low. This season from him has been a big struggle. I think getting O'Neal Cruz back in the lineup and healthy, because he came back and he was over his first 8 or whatever it was. We're seeing him back healthy. I think Horwitz changes the lineup enough that you're at least extending it, or at least getting someone that you don't want in the lineup out of it. And most of the time, that's Triolo right now. I still think there's something with Triolo where every once in a while it shows up as Rob brings in the chat. The timing is off on these things, and it's funny because the chats come in and we're still delayed. So, they've chatted before we've talked about it. But it's funny how many times it happens at the same time. Rob says, Triolo hit that home run 2 weeks ago and said, I'll see you guys in June. That's what it feels like. It's like every once in a while, there was an at-bat today, and I thought, Triolo, if this could just be like that one and in every 2 weeks, right, Rob? That you could just come through, that'd be great. That'd just be great. We're getting to a point. Now, he played for Key today. I think this is what, if Triolo's going to be there and he comes in for a day to give somebody a day off, and you want to say, all right, he's going in there today, I'm okay with it. He's got a good glove. If he's a backup that's going to play a role like that, I'm okay with it. He just can't be starting day in and day out.
Yeah.
He can't be hurting you every day. So I think we're getting there. Gonzalez is close. Kind of. He had a little setback with not his injury, but he got hit on the hand. So not his injury's fine, right? He just got hit. He had some more days off. Most unlucky player. I don't know if that's true, but still. Martin and Bucka Mike are dropping in stuff about Hayes. I can't. I just don't disagree with it. I think it's bad maybe right now, but like there for a while, he was around 260, 270, and I was like, I didn't even expect that.
Yeah, I think the expectations of Hayes at the plate are maybe set a little high. This is a guy with a chronic back injury, and he's making do, and he's from what I can see, he's been a nice surprise for me. Like
recently, it's been not as good.
Yeah,
but through the season for a while there, last 15 games is 190. It's not been good, but before that, he went through a deal, and
he was for a few week stretch, he was batting over 300.
Yeah, but it's sandwiched in between, So, but still, he was sitting around 260 for a minute, and I think if he could hit you 250 to 260 and play that defense, I'm all right with that. Like he's hitting eighth most of the days. As this lineup goes, Gonzalez goes back in, he's going to drop down. Spencer went in, he dropped down. You know what I'm saying? When he's hot, you can move him into a spot, but otherwise, I don't need a whole lot from him. And I think maybe the expectations are he comes through in moments. He puts the ball in play. He's not going to walk, though, because he puts the ball in play. I think there's still something for him. I think his ceiling's higher than where it is right now. But I don't know. I think that's where I'm at. Like, I don't expect him to be great. He's not a great hitter.
Yeah.
So what he can give me from the 7, 8, 9 hole is all I'm asking for. IKF, on the other hand, is way outplaying what I expected from him.
Yeah.
He's at 294 right now on the season. 375 in his last 7 and 321 in his last 15 games with a 357 on base. Even his last 30, it's 318 on base.
I love him in the 9 spot.
Yeah.
With Cruz leading off. I love it. You get somebody who can turn that lineup over and get the top of the order up again. The problem is we don't really have the hitters, 6 through 8.
Yeah, even if he's sitting, I don't mind Davis even at the bottom, but see, Mike, I non-professional at bats from Hayes is what Bucko Mike's saying, and I don't know. He goes backside better than anybody, and I know he kind of has to, but like that's pro.
Yeah.
I can't stand guys who are dead pull in the pros. Like, how'd you get here?
Yeah.
So now can he pull it? Every once in a while. But I've seen him hit. There was 3 balls this weekend. 2 of them would have hit the wall. They were caught. And one of them in the gap that Churio ran down that most people don't.
That was a nice play. Yeah.
Most people just don't run that down. And I'm not like, I don't want to defend Hayes here. I just think that like, my bar's not that high.
Yeah.
Come through when I need you and hit me 250. I know you don't walk. I also know you don't strike out a ton.
Yeah.
Come through when I need you with that base hit. And I think I'm there. Matt, I won't dog you for this. I get it. If you bat IKF leadoff and Cruz second, me personally, I love Cruz in the leadoff bat hitter, and I want him to stay there. And I would give less at bats to IKF and let him hit. Essentially make him that quote unquote second leadoff because I like less at bats for IKF. And then let Cruz get the at bats from the leadoff spot. It's not too much for him. He's walked in the leadoff spot. He's hit home runs in the leadoff spot. I'm absolutely happy with the first at bat of the game being O'Neal Cruz. And that's why I leave him there and just say IKF can hit in front of him still, but from that 9 hole. I like that better than Henry Davis. And for me, it's the at bats things. And so I'm there. So I'll look this up, Bucko Mike. I'll look this up, how many 3-0 pitches he's swinging at. I will 100% look it up. Because if so, that's another reason why he's not walking and he should take more. Yeah. But I'll look it up because that would be a red flag that I haven't noticed. That's fair. I'll look that up. But either way, there's a lot of interesting things that are going to happen throughout the rest of this year. I want to see how they continue to play. I want to see how they play against their division, which isn't, I mean, the Cubs are still hitting the crap out of the ball, but it's not I think the Cardinals are where they are because they won 10 in a row. I still don't think that they got on a hot streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Reds, I think, are capable of getting on a hot streak like that too. So I think that there's going to be some distance either way. But if the Pirates can play 500 ball the rest of the way out, then they've done everything that Ben Sherrington has built here. It's so weird, like, because I can say things about the team being fine, the players being fine, you know what I'm saying? And all I mean is that the front office didn't build a winner. So, like, my expectations were 81 and 81. They're underperforming. I think they're better than what they've played. But that doesn't mean I think they're a playoff team by any stretch. I picked them to go 81 and 81. They're a 500 team. That's all they built.
Yeah.
So I continue to say this over and over again, but I feel like it's important because I sound, it's not necessarily positive, but what's the word? Maybe it is positive. I sound optimistic. That's the word I'm looking for. But that optimism is essentially they're better than they've been. It doesn't mean they're good. They're good.
Right.
But they can compete night in and night out. I just think that the roster that they have, a lot of back end bullpen problems, a lot of bottom of the order problems, I think they're just going to come up short a lot.
Yeah.
They're just not going to, I mean, they could have 5 more wins easily if Brian Reynolds just hit average. Because it seemed like he got up every time there was an opportunity.
Yeah.
And hit it into a double play. Bucko Mike says, hey, good on you, man. He says he lost the argument on Hayes. He must have just looked it up. He's not swinging at 3-0 pitches. Here's the thing, though, Bucko Mike. I'll give you a pass here because sometimes you see things and you get a feeling that that's what's happening, and maybe it's a lot of 3-1 pitches that you don't like. I don't know, but sometimes there's some things that There it is. 6 for 25, 3-1 and 3-2 counts. 9 walks. So he's walking when they don't throw him strikes. He swings early though. You throw him a pitch early, he's swinging. And so
he attacks.
Maybe look up how many 3-ball counts at all he gets into compared to some of the other guys. Don't look up Reynolds though, because we know that's going to be low. And don't look up Kutch because we know that's going to be high.
Yeah.
I don't know. Another guy like that would be Frazier. So I'd be interested to know where it lands there. But the lineup's a little bit longer. I don't think that the offense is necessarily breaking out. Jake, I'll be honest with you. I guess it depends on how you define breakout. We got to wrap this up here, but if breakout means like they're going to start scoring more runs, I don't think they have a lineup to do that. They don't have power. Power is a huge thing when you're talking about scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah, they have some, right? But they're not tapping into any except Cruz.
Cruz and Reynolds. I'm looking through this like Canario has power potential. I think it'll always be that.
Yeah.
Maybe someday he finds, maybe he does a Joey Bats late in his, career breakout. Outside of that, like you're not getting it from IKF, you're not getting it from Frazier, you're not getting it from Hayes, you're not getting like big time power from Horwitz. Kutch's big time power days are behind him. And that's most of the starters.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think Bart has more pop than he's tapping into right now. So I don't know that it's a lot more, but he's got more pop. I think Horwitz, we don't know 100% about yet. I still think there's some untapped power there, or there's not.
What's your ceiling there, though?
Don't
like,
really know.
You seeing this guy's like a 25-30?
I could
or like a
15-25.
15-20. Okay.
20-25 is fine. Like I'll take it. Anything over 20, you got some power. You got some pop.
Okay. If it comes with doubles, I'm right there with you. It's for me, it's slug, right? Even if it's not the ball over the wall, if you're constantly hitting doubles, then that's going to make a difference when whether or not you're scoring runs. But we can go into a game and have 9 hits, and then you look back and you're like, holy crap, they're all singles.
Yeah.
And it happens too much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's some, I don't remember. I can't even remember who it was. I'm not even going to try to remember at this point. Saw him hit a double the other day. And it was like the 4th double of the year. I'm like, we're late May.
Yeah. Tomorrow, whatever is Memorial Day. Yeah. We're hitting that moment. Like, right. We say early season lasts until Monday. That's Memorial Day. So when even if you said something on Thursday and you'd be like, it's early, you're fair to say that. After tomorrow, or for those audio listeners who are listening or watching the video on Monday, it's today. Today's the last day, or maybe the first day you can't. Maybe the last day you can, however you look at it. But like it's no longer early in the season for everybody come Tuesday, whether you're on, you know what I mean? I don't know. Does Memorial Day say that's the last day or that's the first day you can't? Maybe either way, that's a good argument. Did you bat around yet? Argument. You know what I mean? If the 9 guys up, did you bat? You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, wrapping it up here. I don't know if the offense is actually, you could say turning a corner, but they might still be shutting it down at first and maybe not moving on past that quite yet. Let's see how it goes. They've got Arizona and San Diego on the road. If you can give me 4 runs it's 6 games, right? We have a day off here. So you got 3 and 3. If you could score 4 runs in 3 games, 4+ runs, right? I don't care about your streak. The goal is 4. Start at 4, 4+, 3 of these games. Then I'll say, okay, we're still moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're there yet to expect more than that. I just don't think there's enough instant offense. Cruz hit 3 home runs this weekend, right?
Yeah.
2 of them with nobody on. No, all 3 of them were solos, right? I think all 3 of them were solo shots.
Not sure.
And he hit the triple with a guy on that scored.
Mm-hmm.
So, where's the 3-run homer? when Cruz is your power. And Canario might have power, but we're not seeing it happen with guys on. Joey Bart still for me, sitting in with one home run is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where the average is. If Joey Bart's going to be on this team and play the lion's share of the at-bats at catcher, he's got to start hitting the ball over the fence.
Mm-hmm.
What's his doubles look like? What are we looking at here? I mean, the guy is slugging the OPS of 673. I'm pulling it up right now. This season, he has 5 doubles. He has a triple, which is hilarious, and 1 home run. Yeah, Mike confirms all 3 solo shots. The leadoff, Matt, how many of these were leadoff home runs? 0? So when you say he's batting leadoff, like none of those were leadoff home runs. You're only a leadoff one time.
Yeah, I mean it so you are looking at your 9-hole hitter too. That's why I don't like putting your worst hitter at 9. If you're gonna have a lineup with your one of your best hitters or your best hitter batting leadoff, you have to have a strong guy at 9. You just have to. That's why I like IKF at 9. Get IKF on. Now Cruz hits a 2-run homer. You know what I mean? You just throw whoever in the 9-hole and they're not getting on, then yeah, they're going to be solo shots or even 8-9. Because I don't know. To me, it's I'm with you. Lead off. You only lead off once. You're only the leadoff hitter once. But at the same time, you gotta have a better bottom of your lineup, and the bottom of our lineup isn't great right now. So that's kind of the only reason. I would hesitate batting him leadoff. I love what he brings to the table, batting leadoff. I like him in the leadoff spot. I don't know if it's the right move right now for this Pirates team.
Sorry, I'm just letting you cook a little bit while I'm trying to look it up. I'm just trying to look up how many opportunities he's had like to lead off an inning. And it looks like that's not I can do it on Baseball Reference, but it wouldn't include today's game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to do it on Baseball Savant so I could see for the past week or even just the Brewers series how many times he even led off an inning. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't. You're only a leadoff one time. You should have opportunities in the major leagues to hit with runners on, and I just wanted to see.
Yeah, I agree with Martin here. I like Reynolds hitting third. I liked that move, and it seems to have worked.
To get Kutch too.
To get Reynolds hitting.
I would have.
I think the move Reynolds was more
going,
about Reynolds.
To get Reynolds going, I would have put him 5. Once he's going, for me, right back to 2. I am a big proponent of your best hitters should get the most at bats. Reynolds hitting 2. He continually got up when the game was on the line, over and over again. Runners on, games late in the game, and Reynolds is up with an opportunity. And we kept saying, when's it going to happen? And it was time and time again that he wasn't coming through. So whether that's second or third is fine with me, so long as you're not putting a worse hitter in front of him. Right. When he starts hitting again, like Miles is saying, he would have moved him to 5 or 6. It's been very bad. Like one of the worst qualifying hitters in the league, which is wild because he's one of the best. All said.
Yeah.
When he's going.
Yeah.
So for me, Cruz has to continue to hit leadoff because it's working for him, but also because he has to see the most plate appearances for me. And then I would go, when he's going good, I put Reynolds right back in the 2 hole. Jake, when you start to say, but who's going to hit 3 and 4? That's on Ben Sherrington right now. He didn't give us enough of them.
Yeah.
That's on Sherrington. Donnie Kelly still has an important job. He's got to put his best 3 hitters 1, 2, and 3. Period. You look at that Dodgers lineup, those guys are hitting 1, 2, and 3.
Dodgers lineup. Don't look at it.
I understand what you're saying, but you have a stacked lineup in LA.
Yep.
You could put, there's probably 5 guys you could put 1 or 2, and it doesn't matter. They're still putting Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie, whatever order they're in, 1, 2, and 3. You absolutely could have Freddie 4 and Shohei 3 because those are the guys you would want in those spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could put Mookie up there, and there's a guy you could put in that 1 or 2 hole, but they don't because it's about the at-bats. Get those guys up to bat. When you see lineups like that have options and they still don't use them, it starts to tell you the story a little bit, and they're doing it right. Those guys should get up to bat more often than anyone else, more often than Teoscar and whoever else is raking for them.
Hey,
I'm not setting it up that way.
I get it. But when you don't have a stacked lineup, when you don't have all the options that you can just move it, you just got to get a little bit more creative. It's not about the at-bats. It's about how can I get this guy up with runners on, or how can I get this guy up with, and it's not just about the most at-bats for us. It's how can we put people in position to get the most out of what we have. And sometimes that's not falling into the same mold as the rest of the league or the other teams that are very good. It's about how can I create something out of nothing. I don't want to say that we're nothing, but there's clear holes in our lineup.
I think
I can't stack all my best hitters 1, 2, and 3 on this team because I can't stack all my worst hitters in a row either. I'm not saying go over every other. I'm not doing that.
I think you absolutely can. This offense is not capable of pushing it on to the next guy. You're going to end up getting guys up with 2 outs all the time. And I'm going to think myself into circles if I try to go where I was going. So that's way too much to calculate. But to me, I'm putting all my best hitters together because I think all you do is eliminate opportunities when you try to spread them out. If IKF's hitting 1 or 2, he's not hitting 295. I believe that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to happen. He's certainly not going to get walked ever. And so those go away.
Yeah.
They're going to pitch to him differently. It's going to change everything. I understand what you mean by, like, could you imagine a lineup? Cruz would, if he's hitting it, the typical would be Cruz at 3 and Reynolds at 4, or Reynolds at 3 and Cruz at 4, because Reynolds should, let's say, if they're going, not 2025 Reynolds,
Yeah.
but as their player suggests they are, there's enough track record to know that Reynolds is a good hitter. He's going to hit you 25 to 27 home runs, and it's going to be productive. Look at the numbers. He would hit 3 and Cruz hit 4 because the average is lower. But that's crazy. You could never do that because they get up with 2 outs every inning at the beginning of every game. Instead, you have an opportunity. Those are your guys that are going to hit extra base hits. If Cruz walks, he's stealing. You're getting guys in scoring position, and the guys after them just need to get base hits, and you got runs. Put my power up to bat. If you end up a game with Cruz and Reynolds in the on deck and in the hole because you wanted to hit them 3 and 4, you lost the game before it ever started.
That's false.
Get them up to bat.
I think first off, I didn't say 3 and 4. So let's start there.
Well, that would be the traditional lineup.
And I didn't say go to a traditional lineup.
Well, then it's them 1 and 2 then.
No, there's
That's the
other
modern
options.
lineup.
There's other options.
I like this argument.
You don't have to go traditional, and you don't have to go what everyone else is doing. There's not a cookie cutter mold for a lineup. You have to get the best out of what you have. If that looks like the traditional Dodgers lineup, where they just stack their best hitters at the top, if it looks traditional like the 92 Pirates, or if it looks completely random, like, hey, we just pulled names out of a hat, but it's working. There's just more options. You don't have to fit into any mold in this game. That's the beauty of the sport. You don't have to do everything like everyone else. There's plenty of analytics out there, and you can follow them like a T, and you can not get wins. You can say, oh, I'm 100% on feel, and you could not get wins. Maybe you don't feel very good, but there's just so many different options out there. Miles, like, I don't know off the top of my head what my order would look like, but I'll absolutely think about it and mull it over and like try to figure something out and throw it out there at some point this week. It just doesn't have to fit into a mold. Any mold. You can do whatever you want.
Martin said they tied a record with Cruz hitting leadoff, move him down. Cruz tied a record with him hitting leadoff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't hate Cruz hitting leadoff
in like 2 weeks with the most leadoff home runs. I don't think that I don't think that those home runs come if he's hitting 3 the same way they did. He ambushed guys because they wouldn't throw to him. And then what happened is they started walking him. And I'm sorry, that's on base. I loved it. It was perfect. Now he's going to steal second if Reynolds doesn't swing at the first pitch. So I think moving Cruz to leadoff was the best thing they could have done. The guy has 18 stolen bases. Mm-hmm. He's not just a power guy. This is a guy you want at the top of the order. He's been patient more this year. And when they throw him strikes, he's ambushing. The strikeouts aren't really always strikeouts just aren't, they're outs. They're not the same thing as they used to. Who do you think, by the way, this is so petty of me, I will admit it, but who do you think hit third in 1992 for this team?
Bro, I was...
No, that's not matter. You threw 92 out. That's why I'm saying it's petty of me, but I just want to know.
I mean, my guess would be, Bonds probably hit leadoff.
Not once.
Not once? He did not bat leadoff?
Not one time. It was split a little bit, leadoff was. They were probably playing a big matchup.
Like batting 3?
Vance like 153 games at the 3-hole. And I'll just throw it out there. Jay Bell hit 2. That is traditional. Barry Bonds 99 times. 99 times he hit 3. Or he hit 4, I'm sorry. In 1992. He played 140 games. Where the heck else did he bat? Bonds hit 39 times in the 5-hole.
The first 39 games?
It looks like late he was hitting 4th all the time. Unless he wasn't playing. He never hit 2nd either. That's unreal.
Yeah.
And you had a guy in 92 who was a 9-WAR player. What could he have done? He had 34 home runs. What could he have done with more at-bats? He won the MVP in 92. What could he have done? You know what I'm saying?
I do. I totally get it. And when you have a lineup full of studs, you can do whatever you want. You can put your best bats up to the top. It's not an individual game, man. I'm sorry. I don't care.
He had 70 less plate appearances than Andy Van Slyke.
That's fine. Did it make the team better? Or would it have just made Bonds better?
I don't think it made Bonds better. I think Bonds, I mean, they still won 96 games. They had a great lineup that year. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, they had a great lineup that year. It's fine, but I just wonder what you could have done if you weren't batting Gary Redus and I mean, Alex Cole had the most at bats at leadoff that year.
Sure. How many RBIs did he have? Bonds.
Well, he won the MVP.
Sure.
So a lot, I would assume.
Yeah. So because he had guys on in front of him.
No, he had 103. That's not a lot.
Imagine how many less he would have had if he was batting leadoff.
I think he would have had more. I think he would have had more opportunities. You're gonna with more 70 more at bats. He would have more RBIs. He probably would have hit 5 or 6 more home runs.
5 or 6 more RBIs because he's batting leadoff with no one on. I'm not actually in that argument.
No,
however,
you're not because he only bats leadoff.
I get it.
Once
but if the bottom of your lineup is not strong, batting leadoff with power does you no good. You're going to get all these solo shots like Cruz is getting right now. In a lineup that's weak at the bottom of the order, I just don't put my power up top.
I think he's more than power, though.
But he's our only power. If we have,
he's also your only hitter. There's not going to be anybody on base.
But he's not. He's not the only hitter. We'll table this for now because we are at an hour and 30 minutes now. But I just think there's just more creative ways to score more runs as a team. And I couldn't care less about O'Neal Cruz getting more at bats. I care about my team scoring more runs. I care about putting my team in the best chance to win. With the Dodgers, that means Shohei getting more at bats. With the Pirates, it means getting my best players more at bats with people in scoring position.
So I totally get I get what you're saying. I also just think, once again, comparing the early 90s Pirates is like saying when you told me, don't tell me about what the Dodgers are doing. Like, they were that good. I mean, Andy Van hit 324 in 92. And I looked back at just 91 right now. It was essentially the same. It was Bell, Van Slyke, and Bonds. And when I went back to 1990, Bonds hit 5th because Bonilla was crushing. Right? So, yes, he was there. But I'm telling you, you're talking, when you start hitting him 5th, you're talking like 150 less plate appearances. And Bonds was a guy who could steal. The data tells you that the Pirates would have been better if Bonds would have been hitting 1 or 2. Like, it's clear about that. And the thing is like, he would have had more RBIs because he would have been up to bat a lot more times. He would have more stolen bases because he'd have been hitting in front of those things. And you still had good hitters hitting after him. So the thing is like, he was able to but he would have scored even more runs. He would have gotten more than one MVP. He would have been a better player. That's what the data tells us. And that's why they do it that way now. Not because we do it differently necessarily, but more so because we learned that if Bonds would have gotten the opportunities that J Bell did from the 2-hole,
sure,
Bonds would have been better.
All I hear you saying is about how much better a player could be.
The better the players are, the better the team is.
One guy. What you're talking, like, you can't bat everybody second. Can't bat everybody first.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. It's about opportunity.
I don't care as much about making O'Neal Cruz better as much as I may care about making the Pirates better. Stretching the lineup.
Jake, it's literally about scoring runs.
Yeah.
Scoring runs helps you win baseball games.
100%.
Now, the 92 team didn't have a problem scoring runs because they had like 6 guys in their lineup that were as good as most, like, that were better than 8 guys in this lineup. 7 guys. But as good as the other 2.
Yeah.
It's about scoring runs. If Bonds would have been in the 2-hole rather than Bell, and Bell would have been in the 5-hole, the Pirates would have scored more runs. Period. So if I word it that way, is it better? Because Bell got more opportunities
It still doesn't
than
make
Bonds
sense.
did.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? Bell got more opportunities in the 2-hole than Bell did in the 5-hole. Not because of the guys in front of him, because he got more opportunities to step up to the plate.
It's fair.
So that's it. You got a guy hitting 8 or 9 right now, hitting 295.
You get more opportunities if the bottom of your order can get on base.
No, you get more opportunities, period, because you got more plate appearances. You have more opportunities 100% every single time. There doesn't matter. When you're Barry Bonds, you had 34 home runs, you got more opportunities from the leadoff spot 100% of the time.
I get it.
It never changes. More opportunities means more plate appearances. There's no way around that, Jake. It doesn't matter who's on base. O'Neal Cruz can score a run with one swing. Adam Frazier needs a guy in scoring position.
He's going to score 1 instead of maybe 2.
That's a run. We could use it. That's the difference between a streak or not. What are you talking about? You got to score runs just to win.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Frazier can score
You're
one
right.
from the
I'm
6-hole. No, I'm saying, well, I mean, technically, yes, but that's not the point.
No, you're not.
Yes, Jake, the data's there. We've got hundreds of years of it.
Yeah, data. That's all that matters in baseball.
Oh my gosh. I love this argument, because I could see the argument being really great when you're talking, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about whether a guy's hitting lead. This lineup, you got to stack it, and you got to hope that when that stacked piece of the part of the lineup comes up, you can score some runs because the other people aren't. That's great. You know what? Also, Katie, that's actually good because that means my voice is coming back. Everybody's in trouble. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. You don't get this if we're not brothers. You just don't. But and you're looking at two different things. You're looking at a guy who wants to write a lineup in the 90s because that's and I'm saying that I'm taking a shot because you're my brother and I'm allowed to. But it's not just the 90s, but you're writing your lineup based on what people do, right? You're basing it on no, ideally there will be somebody on base. And that's why for years and years and years, your 4-hitter was your best hitter. And then people started realizing maybe it should be your 3-hitter. And now everybody's best hitter is the 2-hitter. And that's because it works. You score more runs when your best hitters are at the top of the lineup getting more opportunities to score runs. Put them up there, get them the at-bats. If we had a better team, this probably wouldn't be a discussion. It'd be Cruz first and Reynolds second, and whoever else, the guy that we don't have would be hitting third. That guy doesn't exist on this team. This wouldn't even be a discussion. And then you could round it out with guys like McCutchen and Horwitz and move on from there. But the guy that should be hitting 3 on this team doesn't exist. He's not on this team. Is that fair? Because if you had that guy, you wouldn't be hitting Cruz and Reynolds anywhere but 1 and 2. Unless the guy that you got was better than Reynolds, then Reynolds would hit 3 and that guy would hit 2. But it wasn't Anthony Santander. He stinks. He ain't hitting over 200 right now. Paul O'Neill doesn't play every game because he's hurt. So all the guys that we wanted to get still wouldn't have been good. But the point is,
O'Neill retired a long time ago.
Did I say Paul O'Neill? Tyler O'Neill.
Sure did.
Tyler O'Neill. I mean, love that too.
It's just for me right now. I love Cruz in the leadoff spot. I really do, and I think he's a very good leadoff hitter.
For you, it's Reynolds. For you, it's the Reynolds argument more than the Cruz one.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm throwing a lineup out tomorrow off of what's going through my head right now, I'm probably going Kutch, Cruz, Reynolds.
You're going back Kutch lead off?
Yeah. I'm probably throwing him in lead off. He's proven that he can do it. You're still got Cruz up 2. It just gives me a buffer between the bottom of the order and Cruz. Ideally, I would love our lineup to be built so that Cruz can bat leadoff. I would love Cruz and Reynolds batting 1 and 2. That means our lineup is good. But I think we have a little more potential to just score a few more runs if there's a buffer between 9 and Cruz. Because
I think you take stolen bases away from Cruz, which are obvious scoring opportunities. He's going to run a lot less if there's
couple. Maybe a couple. Like I don't know why. It's not like he ever gets thrown out. So I'm
but you don't take the risk a lot of times if there's more outs.
1 out?
1 out, you don't steal as much as you do with 0 or 2. That's a base runner's code.
I'm telling Cruz to go. Throw that out the window. There's also exceptions to the rules. I'm letting him be an exception.
I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I was never on base, so. But when I was on base, I stole. I don't know how many times I got thrown out. Probably not very often, but I also wasn't. I didn't get on base. I stunk. But the point is I would run because I was a good base stealer. I would run. And I had a green light. Run wherever the heck you want.
Yeah.
But I still knew that you had to pick your places, and a lot of times 2 outs is easy. I'm stealing because if you're at first base, you're not in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of ways, and I think. Just think there just needs to be. I don't necessarily want to stuff IKF in the 9 hole, even though I kind of like him there. He's well there, but at the same time,
he don't hit from the leadoff.
He's just almost batting 300.
He won't from the leadoff spot.
No, I didn't say put him in the leadoff. I just don't know if I wanted to bat clear down at 9, even though it's perfect with Cruz leading off to have him bat 9. I do like that, but I just think if you can bat one person, if there's somebody in our lineup like Kutch, I think can handle the leadoff spot just fine.
Yeah. Hey, I don't hate Kutch at 2. I think if Reynolds is hitting normal, I don't hate Kutch at 3 either. And we can talk about what he did last year in the 3 hole. That's fine. But I don't hate Kutch at 2 by any stretch.
I don't either.
And I'm okay with Reynolds at 3. Cruz for me has to be batting leadoff.
To me, your top 3 hitters are batting 1, 2, and 3 no matter what. I think there's a way to be a little bit creative with I don't care at the end of the year because I'll probably bat all of them in all 3 spots minus Reynolds ever batting leadoff.
Sure. Yeah, he's.
I don't think you'll lose 70 at bats basically because yes, if he bats that spot every single game, then yes, he loses 70 at bats. But I don't think he does every single game. Like if you're giving Kutch a day off, you're batting Cruz leadoff.
But you're saying, I'll throw out 60. Every single spot you move, you're cutting out 60 at-bats.
Right, but if
or for this team, maybe 40, because we don't go through the order that many times.
Fair. But if you're not moving them down every game, then you might lose out on 20. See what I'm saying? Like you're going to make up 20 at-bats too.
Why would you change it, though?
Because if Kutch gets a day off,
you're
putting Cruz in 1. If
I see,
if when people have days, you're moving them up. You're never going to move them down because somebody takes a day off. But
yeah, I think if we would have started this show off, or started this argument off in the first 10 minutes, I think we could just cook on this thing for a while right now. But it is deep into this show. We don't normally go this long. I'll try to make my first couple shows this week extra short and encourage you to go back and finish this because I just think that this is a good, I think this is what makes it difficult. And this is what makes, and I'm going to maybe like, I understand you could argue this if you want, but this is the difference. And I'm not like, by all means, I am not, what was the word? I'm not an analytics head. Like, I'm not a smart guy. Just in general, you know what I'm saying?
Think analytics and smart are necessarily the same.
Well, I think it is. I think when you go into the absolute like nerdy analytics guys who only like, we could see what Derek Shelton was being fed was straight analytics, and you never go away from it. Like, I'm a feel guy. I do believe that I still am a traditional baseball guy in a way, but I love data, and I work with data and I analyze it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't base my every being off of it. But like, when data proves me wrong or right, I'm going to listen. And so I will say that, like, I would take a data-driven approach to opportunities to score runs and put the best guys in those opportunities. And it tells me to do that. But like, the argument is between that and you, who you're not being driven by data at all. You're being driven by life experience and baseball experience. And you're saying, ideally, I would set things up in a lineup, and I would make sure that these guys are in these positions. I don't know where that lines up. I'm not going to speak for you, but I feel like that's the argument here, right? You're going off of baseball experience and what I've been in and what I've seen and what I know to be the way things go. And dude, Bucko, Mike, I'm totally with you. Like, I think he would actually be awesome. Anyway, I think the offense would actually click in a lineup like that and in a stadium like that. But anyway, we're not going there. I will base a lot more off of data, and there are analytics that I think have helped this game along, and that's literally the argument. And I think that either one of them could be right in a certain given day, and that's baseball. Mm-hmm. I think you could start your lineup with Frazier, IKF, and I'm not going to say Triolo, and Spencer Horwitz, and then go Reynolds, Cruz, and you might still win that game, and you might score 4 runs. But you know what I mean? Day in and day out's a different story, and I don't think either one of us are saying that it's in stone. But I think this is a good argument, and I think it's probably something that most managers battle all the time.
Yeah.
You think that's fair?
I do. Yep.
And I think that you could say a right way and a wrong way.
No.
I don't think that.
I don't know that you can.
Well, no, that's actually the point I was making. You're 100% right. I think that you could say that all you want, but I just don't think that you could ever come to a conclusion. I think that where you are is where you are, and I think if your team's winning games, you're never going to argue it. If your team's not winning games, everybody's going to argue it. And this team doesn't win games, so we're going to continue to have this argument. And it just doesn't matter if you're winning. Keep it the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's really where this sums up, is like these types of arguments. You could say the same thing about bullpen decisions, huh?
Yeah.
They're coughing them up. The decisions were wrong.
Yep.
Ben Sherrington builds your roster. You're going to be wrong more than you're right. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. This bullpen's in a bad shape because there are not good pitchers in it. That's it. There's 3 guys in that bullpen I trust right now, and that's it. And they're not going to be perfect.
Right.
Hey, Jake. Starting pitchers are good.
Yeah. Yeah. Starting pitchers have been real good.
All right, man. We basically, a little bit short, but we basically just did a 2-hour show.
Listen, it happens every once in a blue moon.
We used to do 2 hours together every week. We've got some adapting to do here. But all right, maybe I got to get you on some more of these dailies so we can do some of this, you know what I mean, in a short stint. That'd be fun. No, Matt, no, we're not talking any more things. We got to shut this thing down, man. All right, no, this was a good argument. I had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Here's what I think about your lineup. I'm kidding.
Dang it, Bobby.
Hey, one more time. for the road. Glasses up, everybody, whether it's water or whatever you drink.
Hey, what's happening, Norm?
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
Thanks for everybody who stuck around. I can't believe that we just went an hour and essentially 40 minutes, 45 minutes or whatever, and you guys stuck around with us the whole time. I absolutely love it. We will thank you. Like the video, all that stuff. Hey, if you guys have friends that like the Pirates, man, send them our way. We need subscribers. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back at it tomorrow on the dailies. I'm going to try to get Jake on it. My goal is 1 daily this week. We're going to get him on there. And then other than that, we'll be back at it next week. Thank you, guys.
Dang it, Bobby.
Let's go, Bucks.
Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for listening to my dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks.